Więcej o tym wszystkim od 12:15.
My aim is to remove all these self-seeders here. Welcome back to another episode of my quiet vlog. And by quiet, I mean I don't add any background music in the editing process. Instead, I share the natural sounds of my surroundings, which are usually music, but lately also it's been most birdsong. For those who don't know me, hi, I'm Natalia, I'm Polish, and I'm a professional violinist. Last year, my husband and I managed to fulfill one of our dreams. We bought a wooden cabin in a settlement surrounded by meadows, forests, canals, and lakes. It's a place we escape to whenever we have the time to get away from today's noisy world. That's actually where I unexpectedly found a new passion of mine, plants. I started a garden where I planted brand new seedlings of various flowers typical of traditional Polish country gardens. Besides that, in the garden, or rather the forest that shelters one side of the cabin, the previous owner planted a rhododendron that has grown to an incredible size. When I was filming this, it was June 2nd, and the rhododendron hadn't bloomed yet, which really worried me. I could see that this plant had been blooming in my neighbor's gardens for a while already. So I decided to clear away the dead leaves, give it a good rinse with water to wash off the spring pollen, and give it a thorough watering. To make sure my two flowering almonds, one of that was already here and one I planted myself, have more buds next year, I followed the advice of a lady at the garden center and pruned them back to about the third bud. I have to admit, gardening really teaches you patience, and in my case, curiosity too. You never know if a plant is going to bloom this year or next, if something is going wrong because of the weather or of your own mistakes, whether you should be watering more or less, or what kind of spray you should be using. As a result, every morning I go out to the garden with my coffee and take a really close look at the plants, hunting for buds. My husband teases me and calls me the boss. Although I do a lot of the work in the garden myself, he helps me with the more physically demanding tasks, like lifting heavy pots. In this shot, he asked me, where should I put it, boss?
Tak. Dziękuję.
My mom and grandma love flowers too, so they've been a huge source of support for me on this. Besides that, my mom gave me the most of the hydrangeas I've planted, and more recently, this pot with geraniums and surfinias. What I love about our cabin is that it's located so close to the forests and meadows, as well as quiet, less traveled roads and small villages. On this particular day, my dad came to visit. We went for a drive and then for a pizza at a nearby resort.
Taki krótki?
Te konie, co mają takie sierść na kopytach, nie? To są takie typowo robocze.
To jest chyba też taka rasa polska nawet, czy nie?
Nie wiem, czy polska. I have a fantastic news. This rhododendron is going to have beautiful violet flowers, which I didn't know what color will it be, because it didn't want to flourish. And now, after I gave it a good watering, yes, sorry, not yesterday, 2 days ago, and today I can see the first blooming flowers. And there are so many flower buds. I think it will be absolutely splendid.
There are a lot of plants on the property that were planted by the previous owner, especially various types of shrubs. Because of her age, she hadn't had the strength to take care of them lately. I decided to clear out one corner of the plot, the one right by the exit gate. I removed a Christmas tree that we have planted there after it spent the whole month of December in a pot in the cabin without being watered regularly. We had hoped it would take root, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Besides that, this corner of the plot is quite overgrown with self-seed plants, which I wanted to tidy up.
My aim is to remove all these self-seeders here, which I have already did in a big part, and then clean the main bush so it can show its potential, so it can give more flowers next year. I have already cleaned a lot. Before the self-seeder started here, and now it's clean, and this is the last part that I have to remove, and the main bush is here. And it's quite wild now, but I think when I remove the dry parts, then next year it can flourish. I am now in a phase of cutting. Today we have a free day in Poland. It's a church holiday, religious holiday, so people have free time and they are all in these houses nearby. So I can hear birds and I can hear people talking, and it's both nice and okay. So there is some progress. And now I am cleaning the main bush. I think the difference is visible. I've also already cleaned the main bush. Now it looks not so wild. I hope. I hope it will flourish this year because I didn't cut any part that has leaves. So I hope it will flourish. I am now in some kind of obsession over flower buds and flowers, and that's why I have to show you this. This is on a plant that in its name has something connected with China, but I think I see some flower buds.
Of course, my life isn't just about the little garden. Above all, it's about music. I am a professional classical musician, I play the violin, and in between trips to my cabin in the woods, I have all sorts of rehearsals and concerts. This particular one took place in a museum in historic Torun, the city where Nicolaus Copernicus was born. After long months of a truly freezing winter, for a month and a half we had temperatures dropping to around minus 15 or even minus 20 degrees Celsius, followed by a chilly April and May. True embracing warmth, beautiful sunshine, and blue skies have finally come to Poland. Now I am eagerly awaiting the real blooming of my amateur garden. More gardening updates coming soon. Stay with me by subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching my gardening adventures and see you soon!